Okay, about 9 minutes after I intended to. Sorry about that. Wow. I don't know why OBS just decided, or no, YouTube, I guess, just decided that when I go live on OBS, and I don't know if any of you all stream, but you have the option of starting the stream, and then YouTube has to recognize it on its end and say, okay, it's working, go live. It just wasn't doing that, so I had to restart the computer, which mercifully all worked out okay. So let me know if anything is totally crazy. It's been a bit of a bananas day for me, so if I seem allopated, just bear with me. Yes. So, on that note, hello, welcome, wonderful painting people. I don't have Flo tonight. She is in California for, well, she's probably getting on a plane soon, but she's flying back in from California tonight, so I'll be picking her up much later after the live stream's over. So I'm on my own for painting, and as you noticed from the title, I'm going to be doing another unboxing of additional IKRPG stuff that came in just a couple hours ago, so it kind of changed some of my plans for what I wanted to talk about tonight, because it's new and I wanted to show off like the extra stuff that came in the Kickstarter that I'd ordered. And then I forgot to bring it down to the studio. So it's currently in transit to me as we speak. So allopated all day today. Thank you all for bearing with me. Again, so sorry. But let's say hi to folks in the chat. Oh, Jay Alex, it's been a minute. I hope you're doing all right. Good to see you. Hey, Mr. Pilek. Shale, welcome. Paul knows what's going on. Just crazy person all day today. So he's been putting up with that. Hey, Todd. Let's see, I've been away for so very long. Caught Miranda's post on Facebook. Ew, nice. Well, that's good. I appreciate you coming by here. Hope you enjoy the hangout. Revok, welcome. Good to see you, good to see you. Andrew, I know, I'm so late. Plunderden, hello and welcome. Alfonso, hey man, how's it going? Revok, again, yes. Bills, hello. Hello, all you Miranda devotees. Now that I have your attention, tell me about a great opportunity. Let me tell you about a great opportunity. Excellent. Nothing like some cross-promotion. I've been doing that a lot the last few days, which, I don't know. It's been one of those weeks where every time I try to get any little thing done, it takes 10 times more effort and time seemingly than it seemingly should. And then I keep running out of time, and it's like, I know I'm better than this. I know I could do this. These are basic video editing techniques. I am better than this. And then I seem to disappoint myself, so ho-hum. So in the meantime, while we're waiting, I've got some lovely Bullgrins that are going into my 40K army. Oh, look, and that thing is that working? Okay, good. I've got some Bullgrins that I'm working on. This guy was painted like a couple of Valhallas ago. That's how much time has passed, but his buddies are all painted and assembled and primed and ready to go. So that's what I was going to work on tonight while, at least until the unboxing stuff came in, and then we'll go over that. And yes, and I want to see what you guys are up to. Tell me that everyone else is having a good week. Like, have you been getting any hobby stuff done? We're almost on the end of February already. I don't know how intense winter has been for any of you here. We've had 2 snow days, I think, overall, the whole winter so far. Not a whole lot going on. Let's see. Paul. Guys talking about new 40K stuff. And I'm sure you all heard the hubbub. It literally blew up my Twitter and WarGamerGirl Facebook. No, my personal Facebook all day when Henry Cavill was in the Games Workshop Warhammer World. And of course everyone went nuts because why wouldn't you? So that was pretty fun. Alfonso, I just backed Clash of Catans on Kickstarter, and I am waiting for the Fireforge Kickstarter for Plastic Samurai, Ashigaru, and Monks. Nice. Hey, Ander. Paul, speaking of ridiculously late, a couple of weekends ago I took a way too long nap. Ended up playing Phasmophobia with Miranda and Flo till about 6 a.m. That was pretty fun. I have I'm way higher level in Phasmophobia than I have any business to be, because I'm terrified of the game, and yet I keep like going in and playing, and I'll run into the house and do some stuff, but it wasn't even all that long ago that a hunt happened and I was trapped inside the house. So I was hiding in a corner behind a house plant, and Flo had already died, so her ghost is just wandering around laughing at me. Such good times in that game. Feels no problem, just waiting for my cat to stop making a few new holes in my lap. Oh goodness. Let's see. There are a few urban foxes patrolling my area at night. Oh goodness. Andrew, YouTube on the fritz tonight. I should send them my twin 2-year-olds whose baby shark got paused during the 15th watch. Hey, Adeptus Ridiculous. I'll be having classes again. I'll see your channel for a short while, then I'm up to bugger off. Okay, no problem. Let's see, I just finished up a score of wolves and for D&D and Requiem. Uploaded the video on Facebook. Sweet thing. I can't wait to see it. Hey, Jake. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm still like calming down. It's been many minutes indeed. Yes. The rest of my Requiem stuff should be arriving soon, but delayed a tad by the weather. Yeah. Well, if mine just arrived, I think, I don't know which batch mine was in, but I'm sure everyone's getting theirs around this time. Going to Nova, it's been a minute since then. I don't know yet. I should, considering I have like an ownership interest in it now, but we'll see. Travel is going to be a bit funky this year for me just because I'm having to really portion my time off. So, TBD. Let's see, I hear your dilemma. Bills, I got my IKRPG box yesterday. I have not cracked the shrink wrap just yet. What's holding you back? Are you wanting to like sit down, make sure you have enough time to really like sit down and absorb it and start reading it and investigating it, or inspecting it, I guess? Let's see. Weird, my friend Andrew last night asked if I had any spare Bulgrins. War Budgies, hey man. I saw your unboxing video. I concede that yours was better. Mine was certainly a lot shorter. I saw that you had done one. I was like, oh, that's cool. So, it's all good. Got the fancier editing suite. We'll just say that. I don't know. Let's see. I've been a lazy boy. Gonna do some Asteria painting today, though. Nice. Asteria, the Infinity Arena game. It's actually quite a lot of fun. ETA 15 minutes. Oh, thank gosh. And then even just driving down here, traffic was like, everybody drove on the road like they were really confused to even be there, which is pretty common in Albuquerque because you never really know the state of mind of most Albuquerque drivers at any given point in time. But it's no fun when you see people just veering into your lane and then being mad at you that, you know, you didn't presently know that they were coming. I don't know. J. Alex, I've been getting a lot of adulting stuff done. Finally set up into a space where I can put some leisure into my life again. That is important. Never underestimate the power and importance of leisure time, because if you like to burn the candle at two ends, which I've done for many years of my life, you burn out easily, and your body just gives up on you sometimes because it's like, well, you may not think you need leisure time, but how about sick time instead? Finishing a Lagomorph rabbit rogue and starting a steampunk gobbo with slingshot. Love it. The slingshot, okay. Ravok, I had 3 days with no power thanks to UK storms this past weekend. You're not the only one having a weird week. Oh my gosh, yeah, Paul was telling me about that. The crazy wind over there, and oh my gosh, Paul, what was the building out there that the roof had a hole torn into it? It's like bananas weather over there. So stay well out there. Stay warm. Adeptus Ridiculous, I heard there are dragons in the lore of IKRPG. Is this true? Yes, 100%. In fact, I can grab the IKRPG book, because I have it here, and the Monsternomicon, and show you such books. Let me grab that, just so I can show you. Okay. Ta-da! I know, very exciting. Totally gonna get to painting, but you know how distracted I tend to get. Monsternomicon. D is for dragon. 41. Yes, the IKRPG does indeed have dragons. Why is this so tight? Okay, there we go. Ta-da! Not only that, but let's explore that a bit more, shall we? So there's dragons and there's dragon spawn. It looks like for the actual Monsternomicon, you've got largely dragon spawn. So the dragons of the Iron Kingdoms are enormous. Like Torok is the largest, is kind of the original dragon in the world of Cain. He's kind of the size of a state. I mean, he's just enormous. And no one knows how old he is. He's been around for as long as recorded history, pre-recorded history. And he himself, so dragons in this world have anthinks. So their essence is kind of what can be reduced potentially down to like a stone of their essence and reform from it, over time. It's just kind of this invincible, persisting anthink, goodness. And so Torok at one time, he actually split off little shards of his anthink to make additional dragons, and they were his children. And he hated them. So he went around and he tried to kill them all again to restore his essence, because sort of postnatal abortion in this case. And there were a few dragons that have been able to escape him. Everblight. Is that about it? Everblight is kind of the one left. There were several. Oh yeah, there you go. They've got the several dragons kind of listed in here. Deceased dragons, that's it. So many dragons have fallen in battle and been consumed by Torok or other dragons. No, the dragons, the spawnling didn't get along with each other either. It's a very brutalistic social structure they all had. So it wasn't a friendly family. So there you go. And so yeah, he took out a whole bunch of them. They all have weird names, so I couldn't quite remember them. Charsung, Erdos, a bunch of them. So yes, there's a whole history of that. But for the most part, you're going to see like dragon spawn and dragon-like things, because a full-on dragon is really just going to be way too big in this world to interact with. And it looks like my unboxing stuff has arrived. Hooray! Thank you, disembodied person. So, did I mention I've been doing super well today? But ask me about IK lore, and I'll be happy to yammer at you about it all day. Let's see. Paul Knotts. What's a Bulgrin? Let's see. Adeptus. I also heard that Grimkins has a new faction through and through. Well, the Grimkin is a faction in the game of Hordes, and then they're also in the IKRPG, because of course they would be. But that's been for a while. Let's see. Bogers are the models Miranda has on camera. Yes, that's what I've got, even though I haven't actually started anything on them. I didn't get the new IKRPG yet, but I did pick up Catacombs, Warcry, and some minis show on your Facebook channel soon. Nice. Yeah, my friend Jeremy was mentioning that Warcry is going to start including Warhammer Underworlds minis. So I may be able to... Wait a minute, they did include Warhammer Underworlds minis. I don't know, there was supposed to be some more of an overlap. He was trying to encourage me to play Warcry, because I've been resistant to it, because of all of the AOS models I have, like very few of them could have made a Warcry army. I didn't really want to invest in even more models. It's becoming a problem at this point. See, Miranda, speaking of unboxing stuff, I recently unboxed a Kickstarter from some friends of mine and included some gifts for other gaming friends. Oh, Well, it's interesting. We'll have to find a time to hang out again. See, the Plunder Den building a blacksmith house this week. Well, it's negative 30 here. Ooh. And I have 4 feet of snow in my front yard, so I have lots of time. Holy cow. Yeah, it doesn't really ever get to negative temperatures here. Like, it gets really cold when it gets to the teens, and that's about it. See, I got an email about a board game box version of Riot Quest. Mounted board and 4 identical sets of plastic-colored minis for a 4-player game. Nice. Yes, Infinity. I have the starter set for Infinity. I've not played it yet, but I have the starter set. The 2 crews for Malifaux to start, too, partly because GW stuff is getting expensive. Yeah, funny enough, Paul and I were talking about that the other day. A lot of the new special boxes for GW models are not selling out instantly the way they used to. And let's be honest, I've been very accepting of price increases for a long time. It's just I think it's maybe starting to feel a little too on the nose or too much now or more obvious than it did before. I don't know exactly what's changing, but it does seem like it's kind of slowed down in that market. Or, I don't know, you look at the news and you feel like there's more things to worry about than buying more plastic. It just depends. Dragons of the IKRPG are awesome. I love all of them except Everblight. Fair enough. I know, I feel so bad for the NIS. It's such a raw deal for them. Let's see, then there's Terminus, who cares not for any difference between man, blight, and dragon. Yeah, Terminus has been quiet in the lore of late. There's just a whole lot of Asphyxius in his Shakespearean dialogue. I don't think he hated them and started, or Old English, I don't know. Let's see, I think he hated them. They started eating each other, and he saw them as a threat at that point. Yeah, that might have been right. Because Toruk is kind of a selfish, hateful creature. And so having a family I don't think was necessarily congruent or compatible with kind of the essence of who he was. And I believe there was a line in there of them being too much like him, and he didn't like that. Parenting by Toruk, an Imran bestseller. A really messy draconic family, for real. Also heard there's now skyships too. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm not in love with the skyships. It changes a lot of the technology of the world. So the last Acts of War book, it's a whole drama around skyships, and technically, like, they're largely destroyed by the end of it, but I mean, the technology's been created, it persists. Even if Nemo, who kind of started that technology, got taken away, you know, the knowledge is still there. Let's see, yep, new 2021 Tome of Champions. Thank you, Andrew. The Underworld's minis are in the new Tome of Champions. Oh, there you go. Nice to see that they are not completely just dust collectors. Let's see, I hail from a small village in the Shire of Cambridge, not Hobbiton. I was just unlucky since the surrounding villages are okay. Crazy times. Well, I'm glad that you're obviously back online, and so hopefully you have heat and are staying all right. Miranda may have also been apprehensive about Warcry due to my ranting and how much I hated it on release. You were kind of tough on it, but I mean, that doesn't necessarily inform whether or not I'm going to try a game. I did watch a demo of Warcry. I think one of the problems for me is just I'm saturated in games at this point, and it's like, well, I should be, and there's sort of like this thought always of like, well, I should be playing 40K. Do I really need to go down this rabbit hole? Like, So, let's see. I still have the IKRPG source I was going to discuss with you, though I've gotten neck deep into playing Stranger Things D&D with my son since he got the starter set for Christmas. Oh, that sounds fun. Stranger Things D&D set. I didn't even know about that. That's cool. Nah, G-Dubs fixed their supply issue for now. Where about in the USA? New Mexico. That's where I'm from. So it's kind of funny because that's the southwest part of the country. I think Dan is Calgary's almost like just directly north, like 1,000 miles. But when he flies down for Valhalla, it's a really short flight for him.
Sounded like you just said Mexico.
New Mexico. New Mexico. It's not quite new. It's not quite Mexico. It's New Mexico. Let's see, Paul, Rage You Hated on release. Yes, War Cry Chatta. Let's see, so I think I've just about caught up. Torek wanted other little Toreks to expand his domain, but it totally backfired, and now the Nis have no home. I know, the Nis got horribly burned. Although, I'm not convinced Torek can't just go be wherever he wants. All he does is sleep all the time. I mean, it's not like, oh, I'm expanding my domain. To what end? Like, it's not him. What?
He sleeps all the time.
Oh, I'm pointing at me. I wish I could sleep all the time. Be less crazy. But I'm not trying to expand my domain and only so I can sleep. I mean, I'm just saying, Torek's crying with a mouthful. Okay. Let's talk about this rest of this stuff. So, like I said, just a couple hours ago, this all arrived. Let me see if I can arrange this to be not a death trap for these models, because they're likely to do that. Alrighty then. So what have we got here? Boop. We have got this box of stuff, obviously. And what have we got here? My lovely description of everything I ordered. So I have ordered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 items. Cool. Let's see what all came in here. Doopa doopa doopa. First things first. I actually got the Hermit of Hengehold, but here's the deal. Like, so he's a pretty simple model, right? He's just got his, pretty sure that's flashing. He's a little bit of a chunky full metal boy there, and he's got his little scroll. But I'm pretty sure that with the way his hand is, you can kind of just extend that out a little. And then, like, under the scroll, as he's holding it, he's, like, looking at his phone to tweet. Because he's really, like, the tweet monger of the Hengehold, if we're being honest. I don't know if any of you on my unboxing noticed my little Photoshop work there, but, well, maybe not my Photoshop work, actually, my idea. So, that is the actual Hermit of Hengehold. So I kind of wanted, he's a cool looking model. Like the Hermit himself is a little bit of a ridiculous creature, but whatever. Mini crate, mini crate, mini crate. No, I don't have, well, I do have a mini crate model there too. We can go over that afterward. If I was an immortal dragon demigod, I'd nap all the time too, but you wouldn't be expanding your domain. I'm just saying. Where's Valhalla normally? Yeah, I think someone answered it. It's in Utah. There's just this amazing log cabin out there. Like, I can't, it's the best place to have Valhalla. And I've checked on other places, but oof, these are really hard to compete. Torek's an Almari reptilian cat that can reproduce asexually. Him sleeping is the best for all of us, basically. And I mean, even the Infernals didn't really, like Crix went and got involved. And I get that they kind of have some connection to Torek and may have been bid to do so, but I mean, Torek could have theoretically raffle stomped all the Infernals. Just saying. Nice tablet. Is that a battle map there? What, this? This is just a background. Oh, this is a, no, not person, okay.
No, your tabletop
My tabletop?
is a battle map.
Yeah, my tabletop is a battle map. Yes, yes it is. It's one of the 4x6 ones because it's kind of obsolete, but it makes a great surface. And it's kind of kid-proof, so it's good for me. All right. the next item in here. Let's go over that one. So I also ordered, and some of these are just minis that you can get, and whenever the Kickstarter finished, you go to Backer Kit, and they have all these extra items that you can just buy as add-ons. And so they kind of threw in a bunch of miniatures. But I got the Thamorite Solo, which right here, let's take a look at that. She looks awesome. Like, I think I just got her for the pretties because it's really pretty. So let's see how many pieces she's in. When will I get around to this one? I don't know. But, you know, better to have than not have, right? So here is her body. And here is one arm, which would be right there. And seem to be, oh no, there's her other arm. Okay, good. I was like, did I lose an arm already? Yeah, there you go. She's cool looking. Look at all that awesome hair, just swooshing. She's like a little Disney model or something. Always wants to focus on the letters. Yeah, very nicely done. So I have my Thamorite Solo. I don't actually have too much of an issue with Thamorites, especially, like, I'll take them to those jerky infernals any day. I regret not adding the Thamorite Advocate to my list. She's really cool. Like, again, couldn't help myself. What's on her hand? It's a bird, I think. No, it's a bat. Yeah, she's even better. She's a bat. They're like the cutest mammals in the world. So here's, again, like an image from the, from here, if that helps at all. I don't know why that's so hard for me to focus. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, she's like, it's like a cute little, not so little bat, like a fox bat, with a more smushy face than a regular fox bat. Torok ruining the Infernals would have been great. Straight up, get off my lawn. I know. Actually, I would have been completely on board if that had happened in the lore. Like, and there would have been fallout from it because Torok waking up at all is just bad for the planet. But I would take that over, like, the infernal nonsense. I like that model. She's super pretty. Filthy Thamorites. Get your gothic aesthetic out of my face. Congrats on your new promotion. I will not say it here. I left that for you to say. Yeah, well, I'm actually, one of the other things I was trying to get done, hence my complaining earlier about everything taking so much longer to do, is there was a video I was trying to have up yesterday that I was thinking might be done before I went live today. That's hopefully going to get done tonight with my announcement. But if you were on Twitter, you already saw it. But, you know, I'll just kind of announce it there because maybe that means people will come back and watch it. I don't know. Let's see. Slogging through the minis and terrain works pretty heavy these days. Going to do Warcaster 2 first, I think. All right. Bye, Adeptus. Have a good one. Where are these models from? I like the girl in the dress. I think she'd be fun to paint. She is super fun to paint. This was purchased off of the actual backer kit website when I backed the Kickstarter for the Iron Kingdoms RPG, which was a year ago. But you may be able to just get it online if you look at the, if you look online, any mini shops, they may have it. Otherwise, you can check the Privateer web store, and she may be available there. It's metal, so I'm assuming they can kind of produce that one a little bit easier. The next one I got, not like a Crix player, but she's also just a cool looking model, so I couldn't help myself. I got the Satixis Blood Hag. Now, this is kind of for the IKRPG. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this model looks cool in this world. They're not just straight up in war gear where you have a harder time fitting it into a little town, you know. In Tarna, here's all these people, like, in Warcaster armor dressed to the gills. So now this Texas Blood Hag is, you know, she's obviously not like a friendly, but she just has this awesome, cool witch doctor look going on. I'm just going to turn that over so it can't keep trying to read it. So there's her little head there, but that's kind of la model. Should focus here. Maybe. Maybe it will. Why are you evil? Sort of that. She's basically kind of that. You just have to imagine her, you know, with her head attached and then painted and looking super awesome. But that's it. That's the Texas Blood Hag, which is just a cool looking model. I mean, you can imagine ending up in the Thornwood Forest or in the forests around Ios. Oh, dude, straight up, there's a card in here. Oh, those were the days. This is an old model because they don't pack them with cards anymore. And even if you did have a card, you would have a version up here. This, my friends, is a Mark II card. Look at that, points cost 4. How adorable. Ah, those are the days. I'm sure the stats haven't changed too much. Let's see. Range 5, 0.5, I'm sure she still is. Entropic Force, no joke. I mean, what does it matter to me? I'm not playing them, but that's fun. There's a card in there. Good times. Vintage card, I know. I need to make like a poster. I have so many cards, so this is my hoarding problem. I have a bajillion, I'm not exaggerating, Mark II cards for War Machine and Hordes, and I haven't thrown any of them away because I'm thinking like, gosh, it'd be fun to make something out of this, like a collage or some kind of art project or something. And I go as far as saying, man, I should do something with that. And then off I go and, you know, years go by. How long's Mark III been out now? So, yeah, good times. Let's catch up in the chat here a little bit. Ender pushing the boundaries. Are you getting mod caught? Man, watch your mouth, Ender. Let's see. I get that. Excited to see where the second season goes. You should do a quick cut of the prelude and ending dialogue so we can recap properly. Let's see. I can't even hate Thamorite's aesthetics these days. Another cool model. I know. It's a classic. The old things sounds better than old. Classic thing. A classic card. Whatever. Did you guys see the new mini rates? The Demigorgon Rattler and the Tomb Raider themed minis. Yeah, I did see that. I'm sure I'll get one of them. I'm not in the VIP club, so I just get one of them. But the Tomb Raider does look pretty awesome. Let's see. Oh, a local gamer gave me a Death Jack. So now I'm part of Death Jack's battle group because you do not play Death Jack. He plays you. True fact. I've actually almost never seen a Statixis in any of the campaigns I've played. It's a shame. They're cool as hell. They are cool. They're terrifying. Like, I think players would be in trouble if they were to come across them. However, you can imagine a scene where, you know, players have found a forest clearing and they see a ritual happening, and if they have any sense, they turn around, or they go engage in whatever. But you could imagine like this ritual happening, and you know they've got all these men held hostage that they've, you know, acquired from the local fishing villages and all that sort of thing. Good times. All right, so that's actually the extent of the minis that I obtained through the Kickstarter, and then everything else are like supplemental items. So somehow or another, I ended up with 2 packs of these, but I believe these are the, well, maybe they are no, they're challenge cards. So that would be Legend of the Witchfire NPC. Oh, no, I apparently ordered 2 of them. Me and my super attentive ordering, apparently. So I got 2 of Legend of the Witchfire NPC and monster cards. So let's check that out. I've got all kinds of fun, I guess, challenges that you can pull from. So maybe to make it a little bit easier from the GMing standpoint. Styx's Blood Witches are nasty. Yeah, Where's the Tomb Raider mini from? If you go to minicrate.com, and I think it's mini-crate.com, they have the whole setup there. I'll get to it, and I'll make sure and double check the link for you. But yeah, that's where you can get that. And it's like a subscription. You pay to get in, and they give you a time frame. If you order by X date, you'll get X mini. So fun challenge cards. Lots of good artwork. I mean, Privateer really never lacked for fun artwork. And so, oh my goodness. Here's the Hornbeak Trask Stalker. Well, that looks fun. So these are fun little cards to be able to kind of have and pull from for an adventure.
It's mini dash crate. You got it.
It is mini dash crate. Thank you. So, no, Mini Crate switched over to their web. Oh, you're right. They are on their new web store now. I think I just got an email about that and I still forgot it. Go to privateerpress.com. It should tell you what is going on because obviously I can't. Anyway, so there you go. Spell, NPC, and monster reference cards. Gang lookouts, Thrall warriors. You have Alexia in here as well. You've got whatever that guy's name is. Pretty fun stuff. I'm just gonna say, let me fix this because I keep wanting to do that wrong. Yeah, there we go. He's so cool. So anyway, good times, good artwork. Pleased with some nice reference. You can never have too much reference material, you know. If you are willing to sit down and do the homework, you can really get a lot out of it. The only thing I ever found really lacking in the IKRPG were maps, like detailed maps. I wanted to see roads from town to town, and oh my gosh, that was hard information to get. So I'm really hoping to get more out of this new one. All right, what else have we got here? Mechanica deck. So I'm sure it's just what it says. Yeah, Warjack and Mechanica reference cards. Ta-da! That looks fun. Contains 41 exclusive Mechanica cards. Now, mind you, this is all just additional reference material. All of this should already be in the books that you have if you're playing them. Standard Gobber name. True. Doesn't mean I can pronounce it half the time. Ooh, all right. Let's see, they're also a playable race, which I'm pretty automatically categorizes them as the least played race in the whole IKRPG. Maybe tied with the Afariat. Yeah. Boink. I'm curious why they're not doing anything else with Riot Quest, this Kickstarter, other than the pests. Yeah. I wonder if they've lost the will to do it. Oh, I don't know. I'm sure it's just resource tight, you know. Only got so many people to do the work. Alchemical capacitor. Okay, so fun items, which is nice because if you have a player and you know they've acquired an item, being able to hand them a physical card at least really appeals to me. I know a lot of people have gone to the whole digital age and everybody wants to do stuff on their tablet, but I don't know. I forget about stuff if it's just sitting in some sort of digital HUD somewhere. But having a physical card around that I can kind of passively keep picking up and looking at makes a difference and is going to make it more likely for me to use it, which half the time I'm just otherwise forgetting. Gosh, I was teaching DJ the other day how to play War Machine, and not having cards makes that a lot more challenging. Shadow. What on earth is Shadow? That's cool looking. Check that out. About the maps. Did you get the clock map from Borderlands and Beyond? I did order it, yes. 100% I did, but obviously I haven't gotten it yet. Let's see. Hey Siobhan, welcome. And Blackstone Fortress, you physically hand over a card as an item. I like that. I agree, I like the idea of item and equipment cards. Physical cards and or magnetized minis sounds more appealing to me. Right, like, I have a lot of sympathy even for moving to a digital era, especially when you think of, you know, not having so much clutter or waste or whatever, especially if you're gonna throw something away. But at the same time, like, we are physical beings, and so we are I think it's more natural to interact with physical items. So all of this stuff, pretty dang cool. I dig it. And then obviously you've got the descriptions on the back of what all of that does, which again, you're gonna have in your rule book, but being able to hand that card to some players, man, that's nice. Assuming you get to see your players in human form. All right, and poke that away. Ta-da! Next, oh, here's a chunky one. Ta-da! Spell deck, and it is enormous. In fact, it doesn't even fully close. Like, it's very full. So what have we got here? This is the spell reference card. And I'm gonna totally break this. Ooh, look at that, a little Order of Illumination. Chonk, I know, right? Man, teaching Warhammer Hordes to new players is the best. Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was Grimkin versus Retribution of Syra. And man, I don't know anything about playing Retribution of Syra. And so I'm like, yeah, you could do this. And then after the game, I was like, man, your infantry's really good. You could have done this. You could have done this. The guy's like, it'd be helpful to know during the game, maybe. I'm like,
Hey, Mario's on.
Mario, really? Hey, Mars! Good to see you. Coming to Adepticon? No, I don't have time off for that one. I'm sorry, man. Go have fun without me. In fact, I don't know. I've missed LVO. It looks like I'm going to miss Genghis Khan. I'm going to miss Adepticon. But you'll know why soon. Good to see you, man. I follow you on Facebook, and that's kind of like where I see you anymore. If you're gonna make me interface with the software. Yeah, right. And see, card's no good when we're forced to play only in the metaverse. Blech. Yeah, tell me how many times. Ask me how many times I've been on Tabletop Simulator. I think I played one game of Kill Team with Paul once, and like, that's a big favor because I hate interfacing that way, especially with something like minis. But you know, there's not really a choice. It's the only way I'm gonna be able to play with Paul. And so I'm like, let's just play video games, which is basically the conclusion we came to. So Retribution does stuff. Retribution does so much stuff. They have crazy mini feats. They've got amazing passive abilities. I totally got that poor player murdered because I was not paying enough attention to his cards. So.
Well, you were training two people at the same time.
It's true. I was training two people at the same time. And so one was Grimkin, which I knew how to play and I was familiar with, and I have a super soft spot for Grimkin at this point. And then the other's like those glitter elves that, and so I might have had a bias. Poor guy. Goblin, pink socks, argyle socks, one pink sock, one mint green. Yes. Let's see, I've been converting all my Marvel Crisis Protocol female minis to be naked, as you do. And it takes forever to resculpt these minis. Yeah, I might have to reach out to you because I have to figure out how to resculpt the Hermit of Hengehold to be holding a cell phone. And see, I'm still sitting at a booth for 8 hours a day. Oh, fair enough, fair enough. I think mint green is gonna be for her hair. See, we played a game of Kill Team on Tabletop Simulator, swiftly moved to video games, and chatting of tabletop. It's true. Rhett literally has a defense tank colossal somehow. Iosian engineering is truly something else. You're not kidding, man. All right, so here's this chunky boy that I've just been sitting here. Oh, look, you can see it all in little chunks. So every spell, I'm assuming every spell you'll be able to use, there's 117 spell cards in here. And if you play the IKRPG before, or if you play War Machine and Hordes before, you are going to recognize probably every spell in here, at least most of them. So that's nice. Also, physical cards. Very nice to be able to say, hey player, here are your spells. And again, it's something you can passively just kind of look at and do while the game is still occurring and happening. So I think it helps make the game more engaging in that regard. Jasek had me resculpt his Thor to Fat Thor. That is heresy. Freaking Fat Thor. I think I I think I don't know how loud I was, but I was very upset when I saw that in the theater. I think I might have shouted, "Oh God, no." But I know dads everywhere are happy about that Thor, so good for you guys. I'm not. I was all salty about it. Ho-hum. Speaking of video games, you said to remind you. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, so fun side note. Paul has his channel, just Paul Knox, I think, on YouTube. And he did this clip from Doom Eternal, I think. Doom, whatever. And he had the cool reskin of, I think, a zombie face. And then he went and did one of these mission levels. I sound like an old person talking about video games. I've never played Doom. But, and I think it was like, that's a teleporter, not a weapon. Is that the title of the video, Paul? But the dude's hit over 500,000 views on that video. It's like 500 and how many did you say it was?
65.
565,000 views. That's awesome. So go check it out if you're curious to see what all the fuss is about, because the YouTube algorithm clearly loves it, and I don't know, I think you might hit 600. I know. Yeah, I don't think you can monetize it now, can you? Just try to get in and monetize it now. Yeah, I know, all that. Oof, how much would that have been if it was monetized? $1,000? Dude, get yourself monetized. Then just make another viral video. How hard can that be? The algorithm fluke. Dude's a hit. Yeah, well, I mean, it's sort of caught the right sentiment in people. All right, 2 more things left. The next thing I got were gridded battle tiles. So this is all part of the Legend of the Witchfire campaign that came with the new IKRPG, which is a sequel. It's a continuation from the original Witchfire trilogy, from when that came out in 2000 or whatever. And I have not read through it yet, so I have a basic idea of what all's going on. But here in these fancy battle tiles, which are, okay, double-sided, so there's that. They're just kind of a cardstock material, whatever. And here you have your fun layout. Now, I have a 3D printer, so there's a very good chance that I will just, print off some tiles and stuff to kind of fill this in. But this is still some pretty cool artwork. If I'm not catching all the ring lights. So here, some good old-fashioned summoning circles. I believe that is like a fountain or energy dealie. And in true, presumably D&D 5th edition fashion, these are 1-inch squares, so you can figure out your movement. It's like a, more balls of green energy. Nothing to see here, folks. There you go. So, again, just fun battle tiles. So you get some options. You can make a fun little layout for your crew. Oh, look, there's even, what is happening here? Ah, check it out, there's a ladder. And you can go up the ladder to another level. And then you're like, oh, here's the beginning of a bridge. Do you cross the bridge? One of the ropes snaps. What do you do? What do you do?
Fall.
Oh yeah, it is a rope bridge. Sad day. Thanks for playing. See you next time. All right, there's one more thing. I guess I lied. There is another miniature. I actually haven't opened it yet at all or looked at it at all. So this is a well handwritten. I think I can get it. It's just a piece of cellophane tape. Order of Illumination Vigilant Leader. That says Vigilant Leader, I think. Let's take a look. Hex grids are better, probably. Rip, you died from fall from bridge. Yup. All right, let's check out this fella. Very gently done. All right, Vigilant Leader, what have we got here? Ooh, oh, know! She looks amazing! I have such good taste in buying these minis. Look at this. So, remember, every woman in IKRPG in the world of the Iron Kingdom starts at like 5'10". So here's this chick. She's got, let's see, how do we put her together? She's got her sword, and she's swinging away. She's got her other hand she's holding out. She does seem oddly short there, but let's see, this fits, I believe, like that. Something like that. And then additionally, she has this massive crossbow that she will also potentially murder you with. So, Order of Illumination, Vigilant Leader. So her and Harlan Versh running around the world. Harlan Versh is so much smaller than her. It's actually kind of silly. He's a small miniature. So, interesting assembly here. So yeah, there you go. Well, there, been that. There, red, green. So, there you go. That's my official unboxing of the rest of the Iron Kingdoms RPG stuff that doesn't have the fancy editing that I got to do the other day. I think those braziers are braziers with green flames. Maybe they did look a little different to me, honestly. Here somewhere. Yeah, they could be. I mean, that one feels a little more obviously like that might be the case because they're on the wall. Green flame. It throws me off because it's not exactly normal. But yeah, the illuminated leader, Vigilant Leader, is pretty awesome. And because she's in a wax bag, I feel like I should probably assemble her sooner than later. Ta-da! There you go, the unboxing for all of that stuff. I feel like it's time for progress check. I'm sure you all have done more painting than I have. I really intended to get started on that.
Really good, you rounded all that stuff up.
I did, I painted, they have brown bases. I did get that far. Let's see. Oh goodness, what did I do? Let's see, I have too many stereotypes to dress as. Newcastle was founded by the Romans around 200 years. Oh, I think I missed that boost.
You have to scroll up.
A bit. Oh, under 1,000 subs, so you can't. Fine. Siobhan, show up to Valhalla so we can finally have our epic battle. Yes, Paul, let's do that.
Did you read the rest?
I challenge you to a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel. Bring your dual disc and your deck. Anime rules say you must also dress as the stereotype of your country of origin, so I expect a top hat. This is not the most politically sound channel, is it? Oh dear. I appreciate you, Siobhan. And I appreciate you, Myers. Have fun. Have a good, thanks for coming by. Have a good one. Miranda asshole, you challenged me to a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel. Oh, goodness. And dress as the stereotype of your country of origin. I am a second-generation immigrant, so I feel like I get to choose. They're all countries that have never seen the sun, but there's some choices there. Let's see, green flame equals magical, ominous, dark wizard, lair. That's a rule. That's a good point. That would apply, in this case, to the Witchfire trilogy. Or, sorry, the Witchfire campaign. I keep wanting to say the trilogy, which is what it originally was, but that's concluded. Alexia's more or less content with the fact that she is bonded to this weapon, which I believe has the soul of her mother in it, but now it has the soul of like an infernal, and I guess that's just too much for the sword, though it's possible the sword might have had infernal origins, so theoretically it shouldn't be too much for it, because it's not like the infernals aren't used to screwing each other over. I don't know. We'll see. Yay, unboxing. Done a little painting, not as much as I should have, but I started them Asteria models. Well, good. Getting started is kind of the hardest part. It's amazing how much prep work goes in before you can actually get to the point of starting painting a miniature, because you get the mini and you want to clean the mini and you got to clean up the mold lines and you've got to assemble it and then you've got to base it. Then you prime it. If you're doing all of those steps, then you get to the part of painting. Like every single hobby that I've ever interacted with is always the significant percentage of preparation and then a relatively small percentage time doing the actual thing you associate with it. Like, oh, I paint minis. It's like, you do so much more than that. Bunny Rogue is done. Good job, Shell. Gabo base coats are sort of done on her, cloth and skin. Base is bigger than she is, but yeah, those little guys are not of large stature. Plunder Den completed the forge and moving on to windows. Nice. Let's see, I have a surprise in store for you. For war budgies, oh my. Green flame may also mean copper and whatever is burning. Yes, that's technically true. Although I thought there was also the presence of something else. Because I remember when we'd have campfires out in the back land that I grew up on, I remember seeing like green flames, and then somebody told me that was because the place was haunted, which of course I completely believed because I was the most gullible child you can imagine. And then I didn't want to go camping anymore. Okay, so on that note, we can probably start on some Bulgrins. I am trying to complete a 500-point army because there's a possibility that one of the other members of the wargaming community might be popping through Albuquerque in March. And, you know, what do you do with friends if not pick fights with them? So, trying to get my 500-point list ready to go. 500 points, this shouldn't be hard, except I picked Imperial Guard, and so it's like, God, there's so many minis. But I just found a whole bunch more that I had like stuffed in a Ziploc bag. I don't know, what is wrong with me? Oh my gosh, I have one more unboxing to give you. This guy. No. Which one? Did you bring that? There we go. Mini crate. Mini crate number 51. I think I have most of the mini crates. I didn't get quite in at the very, very beginning, but I do have this guy. I don't know how I feel about him. Gunslinger Gareth. So here's his card. So, you know, pretty cool, you know, little gunslinger look. Can work in an IKRPG. You know, he looks like the type of guy who would be sitting in, you know, a little tavern trying to convince some hobbits to make a delivery. All the mini crates are metal models, so, you know, just go with that. Here he is, so, chonky boy. All right, like that. Now, he's a pretty cool gunslinger model. I love the hats they give them. There's a female gunslinger character that you get that has a very similar look that I modified to make even cooler. But, oh my gosh. There we go. So, I don't know, he's cool. If you're into Gunslinger Gareth, he's also got his other pistola here. So, obviously, yeah, he's a dual-wielding pistolier. Clearly. So, there you go. Mini crate, number 51. I don't know when I will get around to him. Well, he's definitely a gunslinger, exactly. I follow your Facebook page. There's pics of me as a Pokemon trainer. I don't know that I am, Jake, to be honest. It's not like I necessarily get on there very often, but I'll have to check. Let's see, GW of worst glue and paints. Not because of the actual product, it's just because the containers they're in. Yeah, I'm not in love with the containers. One pink sock, one yellow sock. Oh, yes. I love it. Do not like people comments today. Where are we at? 7:30. Oh my gosh, I only have 20 minutes left. I've been rambling. Who let me do that? Okay, so in my rummaging around my house before, you know, running out and then forgetting the entire topic of my, the objects I needed for the entire topic of my video tonight. I was trying to find what colors I'd already painted this guy. So I painted this character while I was hanging out with Jason from Monument Hobbies. And we were using some of his Pro Acryl paints, which are amazing, but I don't have them. And he's literally always out of stock of them because they're in such high demand. So they're amazing paints if you can get a hold of them. Thomas, I played a female gunslinger at the Requiem Adventure at Warfare Weekend. Much fun. Did it feel a little bit more calm because gun mages specifically, and I don't know if Gunslinger is necessarily the same in Requiem now, but gun mages in IKRPG, the 2012 edition when I played it, are bananas. They are so powerful. I remember one of the first things Duncan said after leaving GW was dripper bottles. Nice. So I figure I could start in with some skin tone. I don't know if I found the khaki that I was going to go with. We'll just go with it. They don't necessarily have to match. Which one's the leader? Oh yes, the cute one. Start on him. Do I want to start on him? I'll wait on him. I've got to repractice here. So, like I said, I just kind of got the basing sort of done just because.
Does the leader have a monocle?
Yeah, he does. Because he's that good. What does he need it for? I don't know. Gun mages in 2d6 are worthless. They were bananas. You hear the Pro Acryl paints are amazing. One day I'll get some, I hope. Yeah, as far as I can tell, you kind of got to just get in and pre-order them because, to Monument's credit, they manufacture all of their own paints. So you're not waiting for an order to come in from overseas. But because they're in high demand, like, it's a relatively small company that's just producing all of that. Yeah, they grind their pigments, and then they develop all of the actual colors, and it's a whole process. Jason was telling me about it, and it's very impressive. Way more than I ever expected to learn about painting. But so I think you just have to. Then they even just actually did a release of some new paints as well. So I think those are even all out of stock. Poor Bogren trying to be scary, but he gets called cute. It happens to me all the time. Does it now? All right. Well, let's take this other duder. Huh. So this guy has an indentation of the double-headed eagle, which I'm confused about. Is that like when you brand yourself?
Maybe.
Huh. So would that just be like a scar tissue color? Because that's not a tattoo. I mean, he's got like rings sticking out of his arms too. You know, if you want to hang around somewhere. Yeah. A monocle. So William Bottomtooth from Family Guy. Yes. Both my FLGS and I are fully stocked on ProQuell. Well, there you go. Reach out to Shale's Game Store. If you bark at people, they get scared. That's what I do. Fair enough. So we're going to start with some Midland Flesh. So it's total heresy. I've got a GW model. I'm painting with P3 paints. You know, it's just the type of chaos that happens on this channel. Also, because at the end of the day, I'm a hobbyist gamer, and I just, you know, company loyalties are all cute and fun, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm gonna play what's fun. Let's see, what one is the best brush for this? I like this one. Now, Jason was nice enough to hook me up with some of his paint brushes a few years ago, and they've been lasting me despite my horrible abuse of them, so appreciate you, Jason. This is the DB1 Baumwick artillery brush, but here's what I like about it. That little wedge at the edge there gives me some nice control to start slopping on, gently painting on his flesh tone colors. Let's see how far we get in 15 minutes. To be fair, I don't know how much I sound like it, but I have calmed down a lot since I have started this live stream. Now things seem stable. And YouTube decided to work finally, which was a bit of a question for a while. Might have caused some screaming. Miranda, not using craft paints. I know, Andrew. Well, you know, if I can grow, surely there's hope for everyone else. And what am I saying? Of course I use craft paints. You think I'm far away from my craft paints? I've just expanded my repertoire. I haven't replaced it.
Red Green's got a good idea.
Does he? Do 3 organs to look like the 3 Stooges. Well, it's hard because the 2 others have masks. But maybe I've got my Micron pen. Maybe I can name them on the base.
Or DJ has a 3D printer.
Or DJ has a 3D printer. I keep forgetting I have access to an actual, like, fancy resin.
Like an 8K.
6K, I think, is what he got.
He has an 8K in there.
He has an 8K in there. What do you do with an 8K printer? Oh, my goodness. So I really need to start abusing more of that because 3D printing is honestly really fun. I love it for accessorizing, and I love it for terrain. Terrain is where it's at. All right, well, this thing's gonna need a couple of layers because that paint is not going on super smooth. The P3 paints, by the way, they have this little lip on the edge, so it kind of, pours the paint back into the bottle. It's not quite as inclined to cake around the rim. It's not to say it doesn't, but it's not as bad as the Citadel ones. I don't know why GW insists on having that kind of shape, but there you have it. I don't know, what are y'all guys playing these days? I know you guys are playing some Requiem, which is I'm happy to hear. I've heard some Aristea, some Gobbers getting painted. That makes me so happy. Gobbers are fun. Gobbers and pygmy trolls. They're so cute. Just RPGs in general. And it's like I don't even necessarily get a chance to play them very much. It's just something I've always enjoyed the idea of. Like, how long did we play our D&D campaign when it was 4th edition? Like a year?
No, just under a year.
Just under a year? Okay.
However long Brooker had that house.
He had it for like 18 months.
I still think it's under a year.
Okay. Well, yeah. We had some fun adventures. I love the, and it's hard because, like, a lot of the things you laugh about are moments where you kind of had to be there because it builds on itself over the night where, somebody's just doing the same thing, and when they do it in a fight at the most inopportune time, it's just the most hilarious thing in the world. But when you repeat that story to someone else, they're like, okay. And so it's nice to catch it. And I guess Critical Role has done a pretty good job of bringing some of that.
They have an animated series.
Yeah, it just came out. Have any of you guys watched it? I have not. Vox Machina is what it is. Okay, which 3 Stooges did like Shemp or Curly? Warcaster mostly. I'm really glad you're enjoying Warcaster, Warbudgies. It's awesome. Like, you're kind of the only person I know who's actively playing it. Let's see. I paint with whatever paints are working for me at the time. See, Thomas knows what's up. Let's see. Get the new Artist Opus brushes recently. Oh, I bet they're nice. Somewhere Apple Barrel stock went up. They reached out to me at one time. They're like, hey, would you like 30%, I don't know, some percentage off? And I'm like, I already pay like 40 cents for your bottles.
I'm just gonna send them for free.
Maybe. It's like, it's such a low thing. And it's like, but I don't want to be like stuck where I have to use their paints all the time now. Like, that's not worth, for what? I saved $20 in a year for paint? I mean, no. Sorry. Love you, Apple Barrel, and whatever other ones I've got here. Americana. There's a bunch. Let's see. Now that I have Saturdays off, and soon Sundays as well, I plan to run some Requiem adventures. Nice. Are you going to be doing that in person, like at your local game store, or are you doing it remotely? Playing Battletech all the way. Painting whatever is printed in my backlog. No, look at you being all organized. Your back. Shell actually gets a lot of stuff painted, so clearly his method is one that works. Let's see. Paul, my Blackstone Fortress campaign went on for about a year. Some off weeks, and then the plague happened. Yeah. I thought the Legend of Vox Machina was insanely good. Oh, that's some high recommendation. More budgies, I'm cheating. Since I'm the only one making Warcaster bat reps, I get full market shares. Fair enough. I like the craft paints you use, minis and terrain, yeah. As someone familiar with the cast, but who hasn't watched the campaign, it's biased though. My stream quality has gotten real choppy. I may hop off. Well, I appreciate you coming on for a bit, Patrick. I hope you're staying warm. Say hi to Kitty for me and have fun with the kiddos. Plunder Den, I use a lot of craft paints in my work. I have dry brushed minis with craft paint. Yeah, I mean, it's something that gets a lot of heat, and it's kind of unearned. Like, you can do pretty well with stuff, but there are just things that make it easier, and I know Flo has talked at length about it, where the paint quality just makes your job easier. And that's primarily it. Whereas like you had to put in multiple layers with some craft paints, you don't have to with like a Pro Acryl or some of the P3 stuff. Not this color though. My backlog is so large, I call it my back war and peace. Thomas, I'm a dinosaur, so tabletop for me. Plus, I get to field cool minis, and I think that's better. One, RPGs are kind of supposed to be a social experience. That's me being biased, I guess, but man, like, I think people not interacting with each other in human contact form, and I don't mean phone, I don't mean visually over the internet, I mean just face to face. It is a different experience, and it's healthy. It's healthy to have that. Like, again, we are physical beings, so. Oh yeah. Even though I oftentimes fall into plenty of antisocial ruts, I know it's not good. So there's that. Paul, my local friends play lots of 40K tournaments. It's fun, gets busy when there are 10 plus people at my house and 4 to 5 tables set up. Ooh, that does. It sounds like a great old time. Craft paints are great for terrain, sometimes not great for minis, but if it works, nothing wrong with it. Well, yeah, I mean, and it depends. Because there's some craft paints will have more like grain because the pigment is not so finely ground and all that. And I mean, it's legitimate. It's not a poorly founded complaint or anything like that. It's just what it is. But sometimes, sometimes the best tasting meal is the cheap one because you're like, it's fine. And if you have a finished mini that looks great, nobody actually cares what you used to paint it. I mean, not really. It's like, and we've talked about it in movie making before, where it's like, it's just the finished product that matters at the end. If you accomplish something that people say, wow, I really like this, whatever method you use to get there is not something they're going to see in the final sculpt or whatever, in the final product. So, you do what works for you. And, and kind of find what works best for you too. Like, again, like the Pro Acryl stuff, I certainly think works really well, but I don't have any. And so it's like, well, I'm not going to not paint just because I don't have it. So. Well, maybe I should bug Jason.
So you're saying the worst paints out there are the ones that aren't available to you?
So, well, that's true. The worst ones are. If you don't have it, then it doesn't matter how great it is, right?
It has the least coverage.
See, you know what's up. All right, we're gonna get some skin tone. Oh, that was just lovely. Look how neat and in the lines I was there. So tidy. I actually have a video recorded from a few weeks ago of me finishing up a bunch of Catachan dudes. Just sat and quietly painted it. And I just recorded it because why not? I'm like, man, this is so peaceful. I'm so much faster when I'm not distracting myself. Speaking of distractions.
I forgot about that. We need to put that out.
We do. We saw Uncharted yesterday. If any of you guys have seen that new movie. I have never played the video games, but it was, fun-ish. Keep telling everybody, 3 out of 5 stars. Right. It could have been, like, it's kind of in that vein of The Mummy and Pirates of the Caribbean and Tomb Raider.
And Jungle Cruise.
And Jungle Cruise. Probably mostly like Jungle Cruise. So pretty. Look at that fancy man. Where do we tune in for Wargamer Girl After Dark? I haven't figured that one out yet. Let's see, Paul, because tournaments are getting bigger, doing them at a local university by renting out an area. But I like the smaller tournaments at his house. There is wisdom in the paint in chat tonight. That's right. Young Frankenstein by Mel Brooks. Oh yeah, Young Frankenstein. That's kind of an overrated movie, I'm not gonna lie. And I love Gene Wilder. Like, he is such an endearing actor and so good. But I saw the producers and I hated it. And I saw Young Frankenstein and I liked one scene in it. So, meh.
Did you enjoy putting on the Ritz?
Yeah, that's... And I love Madeline Kahn. Like, she's also amazing generally, but just wasn't working. Like, obviously my favorite thing that I've seen her in is Clue, because it's one of the best movies ever made. But, yeah. What were we talking about?
Speaking of, you have to what? Look out for a video you're putting up tomorrow.
Is it going out tomorrow? For sure.
I hope so.
Okay. So I mentioned, and this is probably my closing note here, that I am working on a video. And if you saw my Twitter, you already know what's going on, but whatever. I'm putting out a video tomorrow, early tomorrow, that will be making a cool announcement that I want to share with you guys, because I've been kind of going crazy about how excited I am for it, while also being completely buried and then becoming an allopated mess, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, where I can't seem to get anything done. So I'm going to get this done tonight, and it's going to go out tomorrow morning. So be looking out for a video. Just check it out. It's going to be like 3 minutes, so don't worry. It's not going to take a ton of your time. Just check it out.
I'm going to click it as soon as they see it.
That's right. Click it as soon as you see it, so that YouTube thinks that it's good. Let's see. What's the one scene? Oh, it's putting on Ritz. Yeah. I love the producers and Young Frankenstein, different strokes and all. Yeah, for sure. I think it was all the yelling in the producers that just put me off it. Like, my British roots, that's what I blame it on. And so I love all that slow burn humor. Like, one of my favorite comedies all time is like Hot Fuzz, where it's just super deadpan. Loved Monty Python growing up. Absurd, but just straight. And if it's just yelly, like Three Stooges isn't my jam either. But you're right, different strokes.
So Three Stooges isn't your jam, but Army of Darkness is.
I hate the producers. Yes, Paul, I'm sorry. Yes, Army of Darkness is amazing.
But you don't like Three Stooges?
No. Even though, plenty of influence, because Sam Raimi is a huge Three Stooges fan, I believe. Yeah.
Bruce Campbell, too?
And Bruce Campbell. But it's like, I don't know, in a horror sense, I don't, for whatever reason, it just hits me different. Even as a little kid, I remember the cartoon Bonkers. I couldn't stand it. Like, just watching stuff get broken and people just acting like they can't walk across a room without destroying something. Just, it made me upset to watch. Let's see, you didn't like Gene Wilder doing charades while he's being choked to death by the monster? I mean, maybe there's more than one scene in the movie, but for the most part I remember it as the one scene. Because overall it just kind of felt like it kept dragging out too long. But I kind of feel that way about a lot of movies anymore. Well, we saw Nightmare Alley and I was like, how the heck is this movie 2 hours and 40 minutes? How did you get that? I could read the book faster than this friggin' movie's playing out.
Like an hour and 40 minutes would have been too long.
I know. Man, there's some love for Gene Wilder in here, which I'm glad about, because I really did enjoy Willy Wonka. Like, he's really good in that. Silver Streak is so inappropriate, but it's a really good movie. It is, you know, one of those classics you go back on and you're like, wow, you can't make this today, but wow, this is really.
They travel through New Mexico at one point.
That's right, they do travel through New Mexico. A little history there. So. But anywho, on that note, I guess I will leave it to the rest of y'all. I got one color on him, So, that's some progress. But primarily, this was the unboxing, and thank you for bringing that over. And look out for a video tomorrow. Definitely check it out. And then also check out Paul's video, because you can see his Doom Eternal and see, comment on there of like, I'm the 564,000th person to have seen this video. So, anywho, thank you all. Have a great night. Have a great week. I'll see you in a couple weeks, but I am going to be putting out a video tomorrow, so do look out for that. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Have a good night. Bye.